Hey everybody, Brian here with 3D Sleekun Designs and RC. Just wanted to do a video. It's been a while since I've done one, and this one is going to be installing a trailer hitch on a Kyosho Mini-z 4x4 so that you can hook up a scale trailer. I've had this one for a while. I think I found it pretty cheap on eBay. It's partly die cast. I know there's quite a few floating around out there, so this is a basic hookup for doing something sort of like that. At least get you the drop hitch and everything on the back. The main thing will be your connection here, whether it uses a ball or if a screw will be fine or whatever. You'll probably want to look at that a little bit, but this will just be hopefully a fairly quick install on this pretty close to stock Jeep. It's got some different wheels and tires on it, but other than that, it's mostly stock. One thing you'll need to take into consideration will be the rear tire. You'll either have to cut part of the drop hitch bar or remove the rear tire. Personally, I like taking the rear spare tire off. But that's up to you and how you want to do that. So and we'll talk a little bit more about that when we actually get it installed. So anyways, let's just go ahead and get started on the installation. So I'm just going to remove the body and set that aside. Use the trailer for that. And taking the bracket off, if you've watched any of my other videos for electronic changeouts or Jimny lift kits and stuff like that, the easiest thing to do is just take these two screws out on both sides of the chassis, and that'll release the rear bumper. So we'll just do that real quick. While I'm taking this out, the kit does come with a scale, a little bit more scale looking kit, and I guess what I'm calling a beefier set. So if you plan on pulling around a trailer with a decent amount of weight or loading it down with something, you probably want to use the beefier one. But it's entirely up to you which one you want to use. The more scale one, which is sort of skinnier and all, it will pull around a decent amount of weight. You just probably want to be careful with it since the parts are thinner. All right, so this is the rear bumper has been removed. So from here, we're going to take these two screws out of the back. Just remember, always take note of the orientation. Like you'll see, like on this Jeep here, it goes across and goes up just a little bit and then goes to the bumper. Each one is slightly different. The Jimny has a different sidebars for connecting the bumper. So just I think they actually go sort of down instead of up like this. So just make sure you make note of the original orientation of these sidebars, because you're basically going to put them back on the same way you took them off. So go ahead and take those bars completely off. And I'm going to go ahead and remove the spare tire. If you don't remove the spare tire, I'll go ahead and show you here. This is the kit. This is for any of the 3 stock trucks. So whether you use the beefier pieces or the more scale look, what happens is once you get that trailer hitch in there, it'll be coming up right below where the spare tire is. So you either remove the spare tire or if you want to keep the spare tire on, you'll just have to cut the top of this once you determine what height you actually needed at, because different trailers needed a different height. So that's one thing you'll have to look at if you're going to leave the spare tire on. So I'm just going to take the spare tire off just because I've upgraded my tires to bigger ones and it doesn't really match anyway. So whether you took the spare tire off or not, take the bumper, same orientation that you had, Just stick everything there. You need the screws out of the sidebars, and the kit will come with some long screws and some short screws. Take a couple of the long screws included in the kit and place them into the back side of the bracket that comes with the kit. There are different holes on this bracket. The lower ones I found seem like they work pretty good for the stock Jeep and Toyota. The upper holes work best for the stock Jimny. So if you have not put the lift kit on the Jimny, these top holes will work fine with that. The kit, there's another one. This is called the stock kit, and it works on the Toyota, the Jeep, and the stock Jimny. If you've done the lift kit on the Jimny, then you'll need to get the lift kit upgrade. And it basically comes, if you've done that upgrade, the lift kit, this bracket should look familiar to you because it's what attaches rear bumper. The kit comes with another one of these brackets that makes this compatible with the drop hitch parts. So so just make sure you order this if you've already put the body lift on for the Jimny. So this is the stock kit, and we're going to put for the Jeep in these bottom holes here. So we put the long screws in first, then go ahead and screw that in a little bit. Then we're going to put the sidebars on. And then I'll feed all that into the bumper. Just make sure, since these are longer screws, just make sure you don't over tighten when you're tightening into the bumper. You definitely don't want to strip out the insides of the bumper. Otherwise, well, you just end up having to probably source some new bumpers or try to use some glue or something to tighten those holes back up. So you just want it snug and flush with the adapter. So you should be left with something that looks sort of like this. Should be a little bit of clearance under the bumper there, and that allows the that's the beefy one to go on. If you can actually drop this down on the Toyota or the Jeep by going up these holes, but I prefer having it flush up there underneath the bumper, which is very similar to what you would see. So now that we've got that on there, we're just going to go ahead and mount it back to the chassis using the original screws that we took out. So let's just do that real quick. I highly recommend taking a little magnet and magnetizing your screwdriver with it to make installation screws a little bit easier. All right. So now we've got that on there. Now, one thing you'll notice, especially on the Toyota and the Jeep, I believe, and maybe all three of them on the stock, you'll have part of the bracket from where it's adjustable will be sticking up. When you go to put the body on, you have to sort of line up the rear and then snap in the front. And that's just because the body actually has to go between that bracket and the rear bumper with those gaps. So that's the main thing to watch out for, is just when you go to put the body on. You'll get used to it. I know previously you could just sort of take it straight on and off, but now it's just sort of angle it on there, but it goes on nice. So we're gonna leave the body on for now, because the rest of it, the assembly, will be just the drop hitch. So from here, we'll do the simple scale looking one. This is the small one. You'll see that these pieces are a lot smaller. The piece that goes into the, I believe it's called the receiver, it's small, and actually this one slides on the inside the hole there. We're going to use one screw, one of the small screws that come in the kit, and we'll put it through the side. And you only need one screw, and again, you don't have to crank it all the way down, just make sure that it's flush. So we're just installing it right here. And then we're going to take the thin scale drop, I call it a drop bar. I'm not sure what the technical name is, but as you see here, there are different holes you can put it in. I think around about this third hole seems to be the best height for my particular trailer. Then you're just going to take one screw and put in the end here. And you can see this one has a little bit of flex to it, a little bit. So, but it will pull. There should be another third long screw in here. For my particular trailer, it works fine. Just installing this screw all the way up through the bottom, and that works nicely with my trailer, just, you know, because I'm not really off-roading with it. It's a double axle, but it just basically sits down like so, and that seems to work just fine for mine, especially on flat surfaces and stuff. I mean, it can sort of go up and down a little bit, but it gets to bouncing, it will come off. So I believe some of them come with like maybe a ball hitch top or something. You can always replace that. Just make sure whatever style you do use, that you actually you don't force it through this hole here, because this hole, just because of the way these are printed, it is possible to split that. It should be pretty strong, but if it's a really big screw or something, you may need to ream it out just a little bit before actually trying to put it in there. But these M2 size screws should go in just fine. So I'm going to go ahead and take this back apart, and then we'll do the beefy version. There we go. All right. So the beefy version sort of goes together really the same way. It's just it fits over top of the receiver, and then it works best if you put one of the small screws in from each side. These small screws aren't long enough to go all the way through. So we're just going to put one in from each side. I'll hold that on, and then we'll take the beefy drop bar and basically the same thing. We'll just put one screw in, partially from one side, partially from the other. And then I'll just keep tightening each one down a little bit until they should go not quite flush, but they'll just stick out just a little bit. So it looks sort of like that. And then we'll take that longer bolt. I'll put it up from the bottom here. And that will finish off the beefy version. So again, it is pretty strong. I've actually pulled a 3-pound weight on this trailer on carpet. I did that with I did it with the Jeep. Jeep struggled just a little bit because it's stock. My Jimny I've upgraded with lipos, so it's got a lot more power, and it pulled it a little easier. But that's the thing. It was on carpet. It's able to pull it. Main thing I was just doing that for was to make sure that this is nice and strong. So I would say use some caution on how much you do pull with it, how fast you're pulling with it, and stuff like that. Because I mean, it is attached to your bumper and those plastic brackets and stuff. So definitely wouldn't want you to break your stock Kyosho parts. But the beefy one definitely gives you a little bit more pulling power. So these trucks shouldn't weigh anywhere near a pound, much less 3 pounds, but should do good. And to take them on and off, you know, you can leave the drop hitch on, and it doesn't really stick out too far. It'll drag a little bit, maybe at a super high incline, but shouldn't do too awfully bad. So and that also allows you to sort of change these things in and out as you want to. As far as Toyota and the Jeep go together pretty much the same. So I mean, they actually have the exact same bumpers, which in my opinion is sort of disappointing that they put the exact same bumpers on the Toyota and the Jeep. But anyways, it goes on the Toyota the exact same way. The Jimny is pretty much the same as well. It's just again, you use the top brackets for a stock Jimny. And you will probably have to cut down this a little bit because it does stick down a pretty good ways. The only thing is the Jimny is very, very, very tight when it's stock. This is a lifted Jimny, but when it's stock, it's really tight back in here. So just make sure you got all the screws nice and flush and everything, and it should be okay as far as fit. I've put it on mine a couple of times. As far as the lifted one goes, it's not really any different with the the lift, other than you have to use that other bracket. And it's nice because the Jimny, it'll actually clear that spare tire enough to where you can go up a pretty good ways. It also clears the rear bumper enough to where it makes for a nice fit in there. So anyways, that's pretty much the installation for the trailer hitch. So hopefully this helps a little bit, and of course I include instructions with all the more detailed installation stuff that I send out. So be sure and visit me on 3D Sleekun on Facebook, 3D Sleekun Designs and RC. I have Etsy shop and eBay shop where I have all this stuff posted, and hopefully I'll do a couple of demonstration videos where I'm pulling some stuff around. So I'll see about maybe adding to this one or adding that in addition. So anyway, thanks everybody. I appreciate it, and keep on crawling.